The U.S. withdrawal from Afghanistan leads some people to worry about Washington's commitment to Taiwan. In today's show, foreign policy expert Professor Hal Brands tells me what he thinks.
Natalie talks with the director of sports science for Taiwan's Olympic team about why the country's athletes performed so well at Tokyo 2020.
And I quiz Leslie and Stash on fun facts about Team Taiwan.
Then I'm going to tell you about Popcat, an online game that's taken Taiwan by storm. This is Taiwan Insider.
The whole world's eyes have been on Afghanistan as U.S. forces withdraw from the nation. And this has left some people anxious and wondering how reliable U.S. support for Taiwan is, especially as tensions remain high across the Taiwan Strait. Let's take a look at what China has been doing near Taiwan this week.
On August 17th, 11 Chinese Air Force planes entered Taiwan's Air Defense Identification Zone. That was the largest Chinese incursion into the zone in August. Taiwan's Air Force dispatched its own jets to intercept the Chinese planes, while surface-to-air missiles on the ground monitored the situation. China's Eastern Theater Command said on social media that the maneuvers were part of military exercises to maintain stability in the Taiwan Strait. It said it was responding to, quote, Taiwanese separatist provocations. The very next day, the Taiwan Air Force reportedly spotted another Chinese plane in Taiwan's ADIZ. Defense Ministry spokesperson Si Sun-wen said that the Air Force had its eyes on the situation and was ready to respond as needed. Associate Research Fellow at the Institute for National Defense and Security Research, Su Ziyun, says that Taiwan's recently warming ties with other nations have left China feeling snubbed, and that's why it's ramping up its presence in the region. In response, Taiwan's top China policymaking body, the Mainland Affairs Council, urged China to stop its aggressive behavior. It says that Taiwan cannot be strong-armed into compliance.
The threat of a Chinese attack is on the back of many people's minds here in Taiwan, and that's where there's anxiety over the U.S. withdrawal from Afghanistan. People are wondering, would the U.S. withdraw its support for Taiwan when we need it? Well, I spoke with a distinguished professor at Johns Hopkins University. He's a professor of global affairs who has written on this subject, Professor Hal Brands, and I asked him if Taiwan should be nervous.
I think it's natural to worry after something like has happened in Afghanistan, in part because Taiwan's place in the U.S. security architecture is a little bit ambiguous, and the American commitment to Taiwan is itself ambiguous. But what I would say is that I think context is very important here. And so any time the United States suffers a defeat like this, it's natural for allies to question whether American commitments remain intact. But I think it's worth bearing in mind that one of the reasons the Biden administration was keen on getting out of Afghanistan was to pay more attention to security challenges in the Western Pacific, and specifically to pay more attention to the security challenges that Taiwan faces. The Taiwan issue has really moved to the center of American foreign policy and American defense planning. And so I don't think there's grounds to worry that the withdrawal from Afghanistan will weaken the U.S. commitment to Taiwan over the long term.
And what do you think about the Biden policy towards Taiwan so far, from what you've seen since he's been in office?
The Biden policy toward Taiwan has largely been a continuation of the Trump policy toward Taiwan, which really consists of two related things. And the first is to increasingly put Taiwan at the center of American defense planning. And so to push the Department of Defense to think very seriously about how it would come to Taiwan's aid if Taiwan were attacked, given the critical role that Taiwan plays in the first island chain in the Western Pacific. The second way is basically gradually expanding the diplomatic and economic relationship with Taiwan, whether by making it somewhat easier to do high-level visits back and forth, undertaking negotiations to do a potential free trade agreement, or otherwise moving slowly, gradually, but surely in the direction of a somewhat more normal relationship, normal diplomatic relationship between the United States and Taiwan.
Now, the whole interview will be up on YouTube and Facebook. And at a recent press conference, when questioned about Taiwan's safety, White House National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan said Washington's commitment to Taiwan is as strong as it has ever been. President Taiwan has also responded to this anxiety on her Facebook page. Tsai said that Taiwan should work towards greater strength, unity, and resolve when it comes to defending itself. Up next, Leslie Liao and the world of sports in Taiwan.
Taiwan just walked away from the Tokyo 2020 Olympics with 12, count 'em, 12 medals, its best performance at an Olympic Games yet. Now, Natalie spoke with the head of sports science for Taiwan's Olympic team, Professor Shiang Tzyy-yuang, to gain some insight as to what drove Taiwan's best performance ever at an Olympic Games.
So, 12 Olympic medals, that's more than twice than ever before. Can you tell us why Team Taiwan performed so well this time?
I think the major reason is that government support many facilities for the training center. And also, after 2017 Taipei World University Games, the society in Taiwan recognized the value of sports. So all the athletes and the coaches, they are willing to train and train harder than ever. So that's why the performance in this year, Tokyo Olympic, is much better than previous games.
So I did see some footage of how AI is helping the female weightlifters. How much of an edge do you think that technology plays in competition?
We use the AI, try to record the movement of the weightlifter. Also, we can track their trajectory of the barbell, so we know their movement is stable or not. So during the training session, we can record every lift the athlete performs.
So Guo Xingchun was quite amazing. She broke 3 Olympic records. Did you expect her to do that?
Yes.
Or was it a surprise to you?
Guo Xingchun is truly the gold medalist for sure.
You were expecting her to get a gold?
Yeah. Everybody expects that. Yeah.
I mean, her own personal record is better than the Olympic record, right? Well, we're so proud of all the athletes, and we've won in so many new sports. There's 6 new sports that we medaled in. Why do you think Taiwan was able to branch out and excel in all these new sports? We have judo and golf and, all these different sports.
Those sports are not new sports in Taiwan. Compare with the Western country, the Asian athletes are good at the sport with the weight class and also with the fine motor skill. So this kind of sports are very suitable for the Taiwanese athlete. For example, the weightlifting and taekwondo are weight class sports. And other sports like karate, judo, and boxing are also similar. The other one is the sports with fine motor skill like archery or shooting. And for badminton and table tennis and golf are similar to this kind of sports. So these kind of sports are very good for Taiwanese to develop. I think the only new sport in Olympic is the gymnastic this time. Gymnastic performed very well in this Olympic. The reason is that there's a movie called Jump Boys.
Right.
I think it's in 2005. Since that movie, many young students try to practice gymnastics. And so we can recruit many good athletes and coaches to join us the gymnastic team.
Oh, so we're strong for our more petite bodies.
Yeah.
And also fine motor skills. Why do you think that we're good at sports with fine motor skills?
Fine motor skill need a lot of practice. Our athletes are working so hard, so they can practice their skill in many details, so they can perform well during the competition.
What are some up-and-coming sports that you expect us to perform very well in the next Olympics?
I think those sports with medals this year should be good in the next Olympics. And also track and field.
Really?
And the swimming.
Which ones?
Yeah, we can see many young athletes this year. For example, the swimmer and also the table tennis player. They are very young, so they have many years to train for the next Olympics.
Thank you so much, Professor Shiang Tzyy-yuang. I've been speaking with Professor Shiang of National Taiwan Normal University. He is the Director of Sports Science for Team Taiwan. Thank you for all that you've done for Taiwan. We're so proud.
Thank you. Sure. I'm also proud to be one of the team.
Now, the whole interview will be up on YouTube and Facebook. Next up, Leslie tells you about a simple game that has taken the country by storm in #Taiwan.
This is Popcat. It's an internet game that's taken Taiwan by storm. This is how you play Popcat. You just press the little cat on the screen, make it go pop, and, well, that's it. There's a counter on top to show you how many times you've popped the cat. I know, it sounds absolutely riveting. If you thought this game was compelling because of its gameplay, well, you're wrong. It's basically a glorified clicker counter, but I will say, don't knock it until you try it, because it's pretty easy to get carried away playing Popcat. Instead of fun mechanics or, say, an interesting story, this game is fueled by competition and the desire to win. You see, Popcat will use your location to determine where you're popcatting from. The cumulative pops everyone makes in a country gets shown on a leaderboard. And guess who's number one, baby? That's right, Taiwan. We're ahead of second place Thailand by nearly 15 billion pops. But let me tell you something. Popcat laughs at our 15 billion pop lead. 15 billion pops means nothing to Popcat. In fact, earlier this week, Thailand beat out Taiwan to take the Popcat throne. Thailand surged past Taiwan, at one point leading the country 30 billion to 18 billion pops. But all is well in the land of Taiwan Popcat because users rallied and retook the top spot. How did Taiwan do it? Well, online users shared their tips for upping their Popcat output. Taiwanese model Melody showed us that you can speed through Popcat by flapping your lips against your phone screen. Then someone figured out you can press a massage gun against your finger and furiously Popcat that way. Now, I have a theory about why Taiwan is so intense about Popcat, and I believe it's because of the Olympics. You know, an international competition where countries compete to see who can perform the best. During the most recent Tokyo 2020 Olympics, Taiwan walked away with 12 medals, its best performance ever. And surveys here show people were watching the Olympics and cheering on Taiwan like never before. Now that the Olympics are over, we're channeling all of that energy into Popcat. But do you know who else hasn't forgotten about the Olympics? Thailand. I think Thai people want revenge for Taiwanese badminton star Dai Tzu-ying beating their Ratchanok Intanon in a very, very close semi-final match at the Olympics. And that's why they're so bent on beating us at Popcat. Even now, Popcat shows that Thailand's pops per second, or PPS for those of you who want to get scientific, is significantly higher than Taiwan's, and that makes me nervous. But there's always a silver lining. Someone online says it's not so bad that Taiwan and Thailand are locked in such a close contest on Popcat, because at least this way people will finally realize that Thailand and Taiwan are different places. And you know what? I don't mind the friendly competition, because at the end of the day, Taiwan and Thailand are still part of the Milk Tea Alliance, and we're gonna love each other either way. And now, if you'll excuse me, I gotta get back to Popcat.
Welcome to our brain game. Today we're playing a game called Team Taiwan Trivia. And we have Staś Butler on buzzer number 1.
Yeah, good to be here.
And Leslie down buzzer number 2. I love your mask, Leslie.
Yo, go Team Taiwan. Olympic theme,
really
Olympic mask. That's what you get.
That's awesome. So you guys are going to be answering some questions about our medalists. We have a lot of medalists. Very exciting. And you guys are going to answer some questions. You guys ready?
I don't know, man. I've suddenly got really apprehensive about this.
We've been reporting on the Olympics.
have.
There's no reason why we shouldn't get this, but at the same time,
You're really setting us up for failure.
I'm jinxing us. Yeah, you are.
Okay, so let's take a look at our first medalist, Wen Ziyun. She is a bronze medalist in karate. Now, what important question did her coach ask her before they went to Tokyo?
Ooh, what important question did you...
And let's take a look at the picture of her and
It's like
the
a
coach.
vegetarian meal on your flight.
Okay, look at the two of them there after her win and then, you know, in daily life. Do you have a guess?
What did her coach say?
Do you want to marry me?
Yes!
Yes!
Yay! So they're getting married. Isn't that
That's
wonderful?
better than
That's better
what
than
I had.
gold medal.
I was like, wow, she's getting really close to her
Vegetarian.
coach there. I mean, like, that seems like they've crossed some kind of
Good deduction. Yeah,
and I was
good
like, oh,
deduction. Very, bravo.
They
well
call me
played.
Sherlock.
Okay, the second question is about our big star, Guo Xingchun.
Yeah.
And she not only broke or set 3 new Olympic records, she actually has the world record, which is higher than that, in the women's 59 kilograms division. Now, I want you guys to tell me what her world record is for the snatch. Take a wild guess.
Wait, is that one? Because wasn't the one that she had the record for is like 3 lifts?
It's combined.
Two lifts.
2 lifts combined.
Here's the
lifts
thing.
combined.
Do the math because I've done the math before. The math is,
I know
it's more than
she
me.
can lift 3 of me.
3 of
I've
you.
done the math. She can lift 3 of
Okay,
me.
but
126 kilograms.
Okay, let's take a look. It's 110 kilograms.
Oh,
yeah.
That's still a lot,
That is-
right?
Yeah.
Could you do that?
I could not do
I
that.
couldn't do that.
no.
Okay. What about the clean and jerk?
Ooh, so
That's one
That's another
lift.
one. That's another lift, and then they combine
the
them.
clean and jerk.
Wait, that was the snatch. Was the clean and, how's clean and jerk? What's the difference?
The snatch is the
think the
clean and
clean
jerk
jerk
is
is like
you
this.
put it
Clean
up
and
and
jerk's
then
up,
you and then you lift it up, and the snatch is when you
thought it was
just
just you
one
lift it
full
up.
motion.
Yeah.
you
Oh,
pull
one
it up.
full
I
motion.
think so.
Yeah, that's it.
So imagine you can lift more on that.
So
the
she
second one.
110.
Yes.
So I'm gonna say 125.
Okay, a little higher than that.
I want to say 137.
That's right, Leslie got
you
it.
knew that.
Yay!
Yeah, because I remember her world record was 247.
That's
I
right.
think.
That's right.
I think.
That's
and
for
then
the
I just
combination.
subtracted 110 from that.
Can you imagine lifting that much weight as a woman? I mean, it's
That's 3 of me.
amazing.
That's 3 of me.
Well,
Okay, so our next question is about Li Zikai, who was our silver medalist in gymnastics. He got it in the pommel horse. And he said he had to put something out of his mind before he went to the Tokyo Olympics. What was that something? Yes.
Going on economy class seats.
but that was before they went.
That's
there.
not even that
Oh, he didn't
big
even
of
know,
a
huh?
deal.
Yeah.
Well, wait, no, he went in the second. He went later.
Was he in
didn't
the
Did he go on the
second-
first flight?
I don't know.
I thought he
so
was on like
it's
the
nothing
second
about
flight.
his flight.
Oh, it's not
Okay, it's
about his
nothing,
flight.
what he had to put out of his mind. I don't know.
I used that mind.
Yeah,
I
I have no idea.
Okay.
His hunger.
His
He's just really hungry.
His appetite.
Yeah, his appetite.
So actually, he fell from the horse in Rio
Oh.
in the last Olympics. And actually, the week before he won his silver medal, he also fell from the horse. So that just shows you, if you fall down, get up again,
Get
right?
right back up on that horse.
That's right. So we're really proud of him. I mean, a silver is amazing. Now, Huang Xiaowen, we know our first boxer to get a medal at the Olympics. She got a bronze. She has a lot of tattoos. Let's take a look. Now, why does she have so many tattoos? Do you guys know?
I know.
Okay, I mean, I have no idea. Because she likes tattoos?
Yeah,
Her dad's a tattoo artist.
that's right.
Oh, no way.
Her dad's a
cool?
tattoo artist.
Wow. I mean, yeah.
That
in
makes
that
sense,
case,
right?
yeah. I hope she gets a good rate from him.
So she has one in Taiwan. It's a really nice tattoo. All right, so this is a really amazing fun fact as well. Which Olympian out of all the Olympians during the Olympics, at the Tokyo Olympics, got the most Facebook likes for one post?
Oh.
It's from Taiwan.
Was it the Yang, the judo man?
No, I mean,
Was it
he's well
Young
loved.
Boy?
Yeah,
I
Yang
think he
Boy.
got the most followers, but the
He's-
most.
yeah.
I think the post that got the most is Staś Butler.
You're
Really?
right.
Yeah.
And look,
For
you're wearing
badminton.
her something too.
Oh, this
Oh, no,
is
that's for the other.
This is
other
for the
long
other
shot.
one,
yeah,
but
the
this is
other
a
one.
badminton
This is
court.
the
So
badminton
actually,
court.
yeah. So actually, it is. It's Daijing. She got it. She lost actually the final. She got a silver, and she wrote about how she felt. She got 1.36 million likes for that post.
Wow.
I
The
wish I
most
could
of
get that
any
kind
of the
That kind
Olympians.
of traction.
And what about the second most liked post?
The second
Also
most
from
liked.
Taiwan.
Also from
Like out of all the Olympians?
Yeah. Isn't it amazing? The first two are from Taiwan. So people in Taiwan are really supportive of our athletes. We just love them to death.
I guess it would
You're
have to be the badminton duo,
exactly.
right? Yeah,
Wang Qiling.
Wang Qiling and Liang.
It was his post about that match.
I didn't realize people
He
were
got
so
over
into
1 million
badminton.
likes.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's because Taiwan is just so excited, about
Yeah.
our team, and we want to support them, whether they win or lose.
I will
We
say
are
this,
surprised.
Stash, badminton, deceptively exciting. I never
I
watched
know.
it.
I mean, I'm not doubting it.
Never
I'm
watched it
just-
before the Olympics, but like it got my heart rate up
It's so
watching
fast. They do it. They
It's
play
furious.
incredibly. Yeah, I know.
And we're good at it, right? So,
That always
anyways, that is our trivia game for the day. Did you guys have fun?
Yeah.
did all right, yeah.
There was
Guys
a
did
lot there I
pretty
didn't know,
well.
but I'm happy you got Leslie beside me.
it. I didn't know that I was going to do this well, so I'm just as glad as you are.
Yeah.
All right, and that is our brain game. Hope you had fun.
And before we leave you, here's a look at some of the other stories that are on our radar.
Taiwan has denied emergency use authorization to a homegrown COVID-19 vaccine developed by UBI Asia. The company plans to issue an appeal, saying that the review board should not have relied on neutralizing antibody levels to assess the vaccine. UBI Asia's hopes of getting emergency use authorization now depend on raising its vaccine's neutralizing antibody level while it carries out phase 3 clinical trials in India. Taiwan's elementary and middle schools are set to return to in-person classes on September 1st. To allay fears that schools could become COVID hotspots, administrators have put new rules in place. Students will eat at their desks behind protective barriers with no talking allowed. Group sports are also out, with solitary exercises like jumping rope set to take their place. Teachers who haven't been able to get their vaccines will have to take regular PCR tests as well. An endangered leopard cat suffering from injuries has been diagnosed, and it's all thanks to, wait for it, a CAT scan. Stumped wildlife experts with only an X-ray machine on hand called for backup from a local hospital for a CT scanner. The cat is now one step closer to recovery and returning to the wild. And if you've ever just wanted to swing out into the abyss, Ilan County has you covered. The latest local attraction is a swing that lets tourists fly out over a steep drop and the rough seas below.
Oh my goodness. Final question of the day. If you could be the best at a game or a sport, what game or sport would it be? Let's start with Natalie.
Oh, I think it would be so wonderful to be a figure skater. I mean, it is one of the most graceful, elegant sports there are. So wonderful to watch.
Are you good at ice skating?
Not really. I mean, that's why I wish, right?
Yeah, I mean, it terrifies me.
I did learn ice
That would
skating
be so
Really?
much fun.
for 2 years when I was like little.
I knew
Really?
some people back at school where the older brother was a champion figure skater, and the
Really?
younger brother was a champion chess chess
Oh,
champion.
wow.
What a
Yeah.
family.
I know.
Cool.
I know. I was like, where do they choose those two particular? I don't know. Anyway.
All right, Stasha, what's your
Okay, mine
question?
is poker.
A poker. Ooh, you'd win a lot of money that way.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you can earn a living.
probably don't need to work,
I
right,
think
if you
everyone
do
kind
that.
of, at some point in their lives, dreams of being James Bond. So, I just felt like I could be that kind of suave, inscrutable.
You are
kind of,
suave.
I hope so.
Casino
I
Royale.
hope so, yeah.
That's actually smart, Stash.
That'd be a great
And
way to
now
make
you made
money,
me
too.
realize how dumb my answer is. Because you could turn yours into money.
Really?
But
Seriously?
I have just followed a trend and just said I would
Oh.
Popcat because
You probably are the number
You
one in
probably are
Taiwan,
yeah,
right?
you're probably ranking somewhere, right?
maybe I might have my own entry on the leaderboard, but yeah, I'm just gonna say Popcat because we're number one. We gotta stay number
Yeah.
one, and I will be sure to do my part as a Taiwanese person. Anyway, that's it for this edition of Taiwan Insider. We do hope you enjoyed our show. I'm Leslie Liao.
I'm Staś Butler.
And I am Natalie Tso. Please do follow us on social media.
That's right. You can follow us on Facebook, like us on YouTube.
And you can also tweet at us. Our handle is Taiwan Insider. And until next week, guys, keep playing Popcat.